Hello everybody, so today I will talk about calculus. The topic today is about the integral. We have the integral of the square root of sine of s over 2 multiplied with the square root of 1 minus cosine s ds. So I will show you the technique how to answer the question. First, we have cosine s equal to 1 minus 2 sine s over 2 square. I just apply this formula. That's about cosine 2a equal to 1 minus 2 sine a square. Later that we put this one in here and we got about negative number 1 plus 2 sine s over 2 square. Because we have the negative next to cosine s, that's why the negative in here we change to the positive. 1 minus 1 is about 0. Next, we put the square root number 2 outside and we have the square root of sine s over 2 square. And we got about the square root of number 2. And we put this one in here. And we have this one in here. Next, we can apply about integration by parts. So we have u and dv. U equals for this one. That's about the square root. So we do first the derivative in the both sides. And we got about du equals to, we put the square root in denominator first. Later that we do first the derivative of sine s over 2. You will got about 1 over 2 cosine s over 2. And we have number 2 in here. 1 over 2 multiplied with 1 over 2 in here. So you got about 1 over 4. Next, dv, we got about sine s over 2. So we do the integral of this one. You will get about v equal to negative 2 cosine s over 2. And now we put in here. So we have the square root number 2. We multiply with number 2 and this square root, and we got about negative 2 square root number 2. And we have cosine s over 2. And this one, because we have the negative in here, so we have 2 multiplied with 1 over 4 and the square root number 2. And you got about square root number 2 over 2. And now we have cosine s over 2 multiplied with cosine s over 2. You will got about cosine s over 2 square. And we put the square root in here. Next, we have cosine s over 2 square plus sine s over 2 square equal to number 1. So we have cosine s over 2 square equal to 1 minus sine s over 2 square. So we will apply this one in here. So we put this one in here. And now we have two integrals in here. The first one, that's the integral of ds over the square root of this one, and the second one we have the integral of sine x over 2 square over the square root of sine x over 2. Next, about sine x over 2 square, we can put about sine x over 2 multiply with sine x over 2. Next, about sine x over 2, we can put about the square root multiply with the square root. So this one cancel this one, and you just have this one left. And now we go back to this one. You can see that they have the same the integral in here. So in this situation, I will move this one go to the left, and we got about the square root number 2 over 2. Now let's go to this one. So I will concentrate about this integral in here. We have sine x over 2 equal to cosine b over 2 minus s over 2. So we put this one in here. Next, I will apply this one. Cosine of b over 2 minus s over 2 equal to 1 minus 2 sine square of b over 4 minus s over 4. So we put this one in here. Next, I will use about integration by substitution. So we put about u equals for this one du equal to negative ds over 4. Because we don't have the negative number 4, so we multiply both sides with negative number 4. ds we change for this one. And this one we change for u. Negative number 4 multiply with number 2. So you got about the square root of number 2 with negative number 2. Next, I will apply about elliptical integral of first kind in here. So for this one, we will change to f u number 2, and we will about c is about constant. So in this situation, we just change about this one in here, and we will about c is about constant. About u, we need to change back for this one. And now we can compile the answer. So we have this one in here. and this one in here. Later that we divide both sides with the square root number 2 plus the square root number 2 over 2, and we can get the final answer. So we have the negative 2 multiplied with square root number 2. Divide this one, you will get about negative 4 over 3. And we have this one plus this one. And we have C is about constant. That's the end. Thank you for watching.